This application has been brought to us by bytescout.com. If you want to see any more videos which we have made surrounding bytescout.com, you can find it either in the link in the description below or up in the cards right here. So the application from bytescout.com that we're looking at is the SQL Trainer. So it basically trains you up on how you can use SQL, which is really cool actually, because you know what? There's not a lot of software and applications out there that just want to solely just teach you something. So it might be worthwhile you just checking this out as well, and you can find the link to this application in the description below. Right, so it's worth clicking that if you don't know what SQL is, or if you want to learn how to use that language. So we've got loads of content coming your way. Here in this video, you know what we're talking about already. It's the SQL Trainer from bytescout.com. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description. Let's get into the video and find out exactly what this SQL Trainer is all about. So here we are, we're at my desktop now. And I'm using my new microphone, guys. So if you like the way this sounds, if you want to know more about this microphone, I'll be doing a review on this microphone as well, because that is one of the things that I do here on AnthonyAllenEdits. I also review products that you can buy online and give you a discount for those products as well. So if you're looking for that, if it's not in the link in the description, it means I haven't filmed it yet. But if it has been filmed, it will be in the description of this video or up in the cards above. So that's one thing to look out for. As well, my regular viewers, Rampaging and Nitro, if you like this setup, let me know. Or if you're a new viewer here to my channel, if you like this setup with the TV in the background and the white and the white beigey kind of background with this microphone, let me know. And do you like this microphone and the sound, the crisp, clear quality that it's given to you as well? Also, I'd like to hear your suggestions on what you think I should put on this TV in the background, because I can put practically anything on that TV. So what do you suggest? You know, obviously keeping it within the copyright no, not getting any copyright strikes. I don't want to get any copyright strikes on my video. So obviously I'm limited in terms of, you know, I'm not going to play a anime episode or a TV show that you're watching in the background, and it has to be related as well to my videos as well. So what do you suggest that I should put in the background on that TV as well? So moving forward now, we are on the application part of the website from bytescout.com. If you want to find this application and get started with it for yourself that was a mouthful then. If you want to get started with this application yourself, the link for this application will be in the description. I just reached into the microphone there so you could hear what was going on. I'm going to move it slightly so it's not, there you go, that's straight up now. So here we are on ByteScout SQL's Trainer. Right, so we have our first question. So it's in the form of a, I'm going to say exam, where it's basically going to teach us how to use SQL and sort of give us more insight as to what SQL is and how to use it. From the blogs on the website, because before I started this, I decided to go through ByteScout's website and they have a few blogs. I decided to go through that to find out more on SQL, and my short, brief description will be, it's sort of a language that you use in databases to find information quickly, as opposed to having information scattered through a database that you have to find. So that is my short, brief description, but don't click away from this video just yet, because we're going to learn how to use this language here with ByteScout's SQL Trainer. So let's get started. Let's read the first question. It says, view available tables. So basically on a database, you have a table with information on it. Database contains one or more tables. Each table has a name. In some popular databases like MySQL, which is what we're learning about here, and others, you may get the list of available tables just by typing. So for example, if you type show tables, with that symbol there, I can't remember the name of it, you can actually find what you're looking for. So we're going to look, what we're going to try and find here, it's giving us something. It says, now please try to type SQL query to show all tables, and then, I think it's supposed to say then, it says, and then click run SQL, which is this button here, query button, and press enter on the keyboard to run your query. So let's try show tables. So I'm going to write it exactly how it's written. I'm going to put capitals there. The reason why I know that we should do that is because when it comes to things like coding and those sort of things, you need to be specific and keep the word format the same to get a command to work. So we're going to try that here. We're going to show tables. So there we go. So right now it's got please try to type show tables. Oh, okay. So we've got 2 tables that we've found now. You've got a customer's slot or column, or maybe it's a row, and the orders column, or maybe it's a row. We don't know just yet. So for those of you who don't know what columns and rows are horizontal, columns are up and down. If you want a reference to remember what a column is, if you know anything about Greek history and Roman civilization, they used to build columns to hold buildings up. I think it's Athens, where you have buildings where they're still standing, stone structures which have columns. And the reason why they built those columns, if you want some more history on that subject, is because they wanted to remind the civilians at the time of the old structures that were made out of wood. So they built the same sort of structure out of stone when they were starting to use stone in their civilization, to get you used to stone buildings. So I had to pause there for a second because I needed to quickly go and answer the door because there was a knock at the door. But basically what we did is we have typed show table and then entered that in, and it's come up with the 2 types of table IDs, for example, customer and orders. So basically it's showing us that in our table, our database, we have 2 sections. We have a section for customers and we have a section for orders. So we now know the 2 bits of information that have been entered into our database. So let's get on to the next question. Let's find out what the next one is. And also you can actually scroll back up. I've just noticed that you can scroll back up to the first question and see that for your reference. So if you're onto the next one and it's using information that you've just learned, you can actually scroll back up and have a look and see what you've entered as the answer for the first one. So you imagine when you're doing an exam, people don't think about that. When you're doing an exam, they don't think, oh, I've just entered a fraction question that may be related to the question that I've got further on in the test. So that's a trick for those of you who may be sitting an exam at any point. You can always go back to your answers, especially if it's not a digital exam and it doesn't get rid of the page from before. If it's a written exam, you can go back and have a look at your question from before to see what you entered. And that's some more knowledge. We are the knowledge goat on YouTube at the moment with this thing, so moving forward, let's move on to question number 2. So it says, view content with all customers and rows in given table. Every database contains 1 or more tables. In this SQL trainer, we have 2 tables, which I've just mentioned, which are orders and customers. Each table has rows and columns. We've just explained what rows and columns are. You may see all columns from selected table with a query that uses an asterisk symbol like this. So select, and and we got table. So which one we're going to look for? Let's press continue. I was just trying to answer something that hasn't actually popped up yet. I was trying to guess there. So it says, please type SQL command to display all available columns of the orders or customers table. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put select, then we'll put the asterisk from, again in capitals, and then we're going to put, instead of my table, let's put customers. Let's see if that worked. Oh, okay, straight away, look at that. So basically now what it's doing is it's gathering all of the information of customers in a column, I think it is. A column and rows given. So there we go. So it's selecting, basically it's showing me the ID of the customer. I mean, some people, when you're entering, if you're a business runner, if you run a business, if you're entering your customer's ID as well as the name and an email, which is very useful for those of you who do your own tax. I do my own tax, even though I earn money through freelancing. I also do my own tax and have to make sure that I do that annually. Or if you've got an accountant, you could actually refer them to this sort of software as well, because this could be really, really useful for your accountant in a way to save time, which is in turn saving you money. So that's what this can be really useful for. Or if you're just, you're gathering information, for example, customers, and you've got thousands of customers or something, or hundreds of customers, and you can't gather a statistic or a piece of data from those customers. This would be how you do that. Maybe you've got an email list as well. Email lists are really popular at the moment. A lot of people are using email lists, and maybe you want to contact I don't know, a certain type of customer, and you would use this SQL to find that information a lot quicker, rather than sitting there and going through every little bit of information. So now we move on to question number 3. View one selected column only. The most widely used SQL query is viewing selected columns from a table. For example, you may view only name from customers table with this query. So say if you're looking for all of the Brians in your database, then this will be how you would search for the Brians in your database. That's pretty cool, man. So let's have a look. Let's press continue. Let's see what it says. Now, please type the SQL command to display email columns of the customer table. This is starting to make a lot of sense. It's starting to come together. It's starting to merge together. I'm only on question 3, and you can see that I've got my camera in the way, so you can't see all of the bar, but you can see that I'm near enough, nearly halfway through learning SQL. So it's pretty quick. For those of you who are doing this for the first time, I would say watch this video all the way through first, because obviously I'm quite advanced with technical things like this. But if it's your first time, I would say use this video as reference. Don't cheat, especially if you've got the same questions, but sort of use it as a reference. I'm going to see what happens actually when you enter the wrong. I don't think I've entered the wrong entry yet, so I'm going to see what happens when you enter something wrong. Okay, so I've entered something wrong, and it's kind of give me the answer. So it says incorrect or malformed query. Please try to start from the simple query, select, and then asterisk from customers. Okay, cool. Right, so you don't put the asterisk, you'd put a name. So basically it kind of gives you the answer with a clue. So that's more or less a clue. Right, so what we're going to do, what you can do is you can just use our old friend copy and paste. And I'm going to copy that, and yeah, instead of name, you would literally just put email. So you just replace name with email. There we go. See, that's called being media smart. You've got a copy and paste tool that you can use it, right? So there you go. So we've got through that one, and we are now displaying all of the emails of customers within that database. So if you think of databases like a spreadsheet, it actually makes a lot more sense. When you think database, you people think numbers and a spreadsheet is a form of a database in a way. So that is one form of a database, a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. So you imagine that you're filling out a spreadsheet, and you're giving that spreadsheet commands using this application. You know what I mean? So this is a trainer to teach you how to enter those commands. Really cool, man. Right, so get multiple columns from a table. You may also view few columns at a time. Just list them with a comma. For example, you may view size and price from orders using this query. So right here, it's got select, then it's got size with a comma, price from orders. So that could be customers, and you could select name and email instead. So let's see what it's going to say. Oh my gosh. I'm psychic. I've literally just said name and email, and I've literally just said customers. It's like I'm on the same trail of thought. Oh, that's amazing. Alright, so let's get into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this form first. I remember back in the day, in the early days of YouTube, where people were explaining coding, they would actually sometimes, when it's a command, copy and paste an example command or the exact command that person used. But it wouldn't make sense to everybody who didn't know what coding and that sort of thing and how to do that. But that is where I've got that idea from. Copy and pasting this is from the early days of YouTube, when everyone had Windows, and Windows was really complicated to run. And then if you got a software that used code, you needed to make sure you had the commands in. And if your computer died for whatever reason and it was a software malfunction, you put the command in to try and get it up and running. So that's where that idea just came from. So if you're wondering where the idea came from, just where I've copy and pasted, that's where it came from. It's also a really good tool to use as well, copy and paste, guys, especially when you're doing a test online. You copy and paste something, and then you can weave and bob and change things to save time and try and get through it. Right, so what we want to do now is we want to change this to name, lowercase, making sure that you're using the right case, and email. And then you want to change orders, because all the lowercase things are the things that you're asking, to customers. Again, I've read blogs on bytescout.com before I got started on this, because I wanted to know and make sure that I got it right. I didn't want to look like a buffoon, like you know. So I teach people online. So this is the reason why I'm hitting all marks here. It's because I teach people how to do things online. I've got more videos as well coming very, very soon on different services and so forth as well. So remember to hit that subscribe button if you want to learn how to use something or get a discount on the application or software or piece of media or an item that I'm reviewing or having a look at. For example, we're having a look at bytescouts.com's SQL trainer, and also teaching you guys what SQL is all about. So yeah, so we've done that. Let's give us our example emails. Let's get on to the next one. This is running a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Let's get my reading voice on now. Limit number of results. You may have thousands of records, but need to view them. See, I'm messing it up now. But need to view only 10 of the first records. I'm adding words. You may limit the number of records using limit keyword. Okay, so a new command is limit, right? And as you've got here, it's got select, asterisk, which could be emails, from orders, and limit, and then it's got the number 5, right? So we're going to do there again. I'm going to copy and paste just because it makes it easier for me. I'm going to press continue. Okay, so now it's asking us for the question. So it says, now please type the SQL query that shows records from customers but limits the numbers records. Okay, records from customers but limits the number of results to just 7 records. Okay, so let's go. So select records. Is that like a thing? Okay, from customers. Let's just try this. Throw me off a little bit there, and limit to 7. Oh, is it 10? Where was it? Where is it? 7. It does say in like big capitals, in bold writing. Sorry. Right, so I've got that wrong. The reason why is because I've put customer instead of customers. You have to remember that when you're entering a command, if you don't get it exactly right, as what, for example, if you've entered a title into a database and you get like the spelling wrong, then it's not going to show that result. So remember that as well. I'm glad that I actually got that wrong and had to enter that again, so people can see how precise commands are when you're entering them. You get a letter wrong, you miss a letter, it won't work. So here we are. On to number 6. Looks like we nearly done as well. I think I got an A+. Okay, another keyword to filter results is top command. Let's find out what top command means. Some databases use top keyword instead of limit. This keyword also limits the number of results to a given number, and it is used a bit differently like this. Select top 5 asterisk from orders. Okay, so let's press continue. Right, so remember that the asterisk is... I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I know what I'm talking about, and hopefully you guys that are watching at home know what I'm talking about as well. So we're just going to do the whole copy and paste trick first. Right, so we're going to knock things down this time. I'm not going to jump straight into it. I'm going to knock things down for those of you that are looking at this sort of thing for the first time. So obviously, top command, it's asked us to limit it to 8. Right, so that's the first thing you want to do, because that's the easiest thing to do. So you want to do limit that to 8. Pardon me. So it says top SQL commander and limit to 8 records. So now I'm slowing it down. Now it's starting to hurt. Top from customers. Right, so customers It's not orders. So that's the one thing. We've got 2 entries, which are customers and orders. Make sure you're spelling customers correctly. There we go. We use the top command. Don't forget to place the asterisk symbol right after the number. Okay, so that has to stay. That doesn't change. That's part of the command this time. Whereas normally an asterisk kind of means like correction or enter something else there. In this case, you need to keep it there. And there we go. So it's now showing us the top 8 entries from customers, which is at the top of the database. So there we go. It sort of limits it top down. So if I was to put 9, it would show me like the 9 instead of the 8. Awesome. Moving on. I think we're on the last question here. Question 7. Find records by a partial string. You may search data using wildcard operators. That makes it easy to find all matching records in a large table of thousands of records. The keyword like is our word this time, helps with this, and percentage symbol is used as a wildcard that can be at the left or the right or both. The query below will search for all names starting Mike. Select asterisk, keeping that in, from companies where CEO like Mike. Cool. Okay, so let's go on to it. As you can see, placing the percentage symbol after the part of the name matches all names starting this. There's a spelling error there. It says starting this string. Please type SQL query to select all records from customers tables with emails starting with Berry. Okay, so I think we've got to put the comma in it. Is it a comma? Do you put commas in these? See, now I'm going back through to see if we've started using commas yet. Because when you start using commas in this type of language, yes, so we did. Right, it gets slightly complicated. So there we have it. It says select size, and then you got a comma, and then you got price. Right, so that's how we're going to enter this. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this entry here to make it easier for us. Obviously, in real life situations, you might not be able to do that. Right, so you might have to just figure that out for yourself. So we're leaving the asterisk, right, and we're selecting it from customers. So that's the first thing that we're going to change: companies to customers. Okay, so the idea is to knock down parts of the language step by step. So what we've done is we've copy and pasted this first example, but that's not the example that we need because it's not CEO and it's not Mike. So one of the first things that we're going to do, where we're going to definitely change the name. The percentage will be in the right place, lowercase again, because it's a part of the language which isn't a command. It's to define what we're looking for. Then we've already done customer table with email. So it's going to be here. We're going to put email. Where email. Okay, I think that's basically it. Let's run it. Boom, there we go. So I think, you start, it's almost like you've learned how to speak in a language, and then you're just interpreting something and making sure that what you've written, the system understands, because if the system doesn't understand what you've written, it's not going to work. So let's get to the end. I want to see if you guys can beat my score on this as well, because I know it gives you a score at the end, and boom, there you go. So I've got you correctly solved 5 out of 5 out of 7 questions. Good work. Recheck some queries again for more clarity. It's got a cute little face at the end of there. I want to see if you guys can beat my score. So can you beat my score here? The link to this application is in the description. My verdict on the application is, obviously, I've had a little bit of help because I've read those blogs on bitescout.com before I got started with this to give me more of a clue on how to write in this language and what SQL is. So I think we successfully completed this test here today. I now know what SQL language is. I successfully been able to start with the first part of this SQL trainer in order to teach me the basics of SQL, because I'm gonna go with that's gonna be the basics. You know what I mean? So especially if you're a technical guy, this would be a good little practice for you. But if you're not a technical guy and you don't know about SQL, like I didn't know about SQL before I even started this test, and now I do, now I have an understanding of it, this would be a good challenge. It's definitely a good challenge. You know, as I said, you can watch this video as a reference as well before you get started. Challenge yourself. If you got higher than me, if you got higher than 5.5, comment down in the description below. I'd love to see if you guys can beat my score. I consider myself quite a technical guy and a quick learner. So if you can beat me, definitely give yourself, I don't know, take yourself out for a treat. You know what I mean? Like, because I would, because you know, as I said, I'm quite a technical guy, and I teach people technical things online as well as on my YouTube channel, guys. You know what I'm all about. I give reviews on items, products, services like this, free applications like this that you can try out, paid items that you can get a discount on, and I will be giving you those discounts as well to the items that you'll be interested in. And also, the reason why I'm wearing an Atari hoodie, guys, is because very soon I will be uploading something to help the gaming community here on YouTube, man, and it's going to be absolutely insane. So if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're going to get involved in this in what way, shape or form, and you've done this test and you want to tell me what your score is, did you beat me? Comment down below. As well, for my regular viewers and my subscribers, do you like this background? What do you think of my microphone? Remember that I will be reviewing this microphone as well for these type of videos for screencasts and podcasts. This is a brand new microphone. I've filmed an unboxing video, but I haven't uploaded it just yet because it will be within my review of this microphone. What do you think of bytescout.com? Did you enjoy this SQL learner trainer? And yeah, man, did you follow along? Did you cheat and use my video? What's the thing? Do you now know what SQL is as a result of this? Am I pronouncing SQL correctly? Is it SQL? Is it SQL? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'd like to see you next time in the next video, guys, here on Anthony Allen Edits. Got more videos coming your way. You know where we're at. I'm going to be absolutely putting out so much content in the next few weeks as well. So it's worth hitting that subscribe button. Anthony Allen, peace out and see you soon.